Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome, all you ghouls, ghosts, and guests. You are now in the iPad session with me today. My name is Emma. And if you're first time here, if you are using a desktop or a laptop or a Chromebook, just check your emails and you might need to switch over to another session that Dom is hosting. But if you have an iPad and you have all of the apps there, then you are in the right session. If you are sitting there going, what apps? There's more than one. I'm just going to showcase here a wee link at the bottom here where you can download the legacy apps. So Adobe have done some really amazing updates over the last few months. We're still waiting on some of those updates just to transfer over to the iPad. So if you can download the legacy apps using the wee link below there, specifically the page one, that's the one that we're going to be using today. So we're hopefully going to be able to do some fun creative challenges here. And I'm going to show you what they're all about. So as you can see, I'm just chilling here in my wee haunted house, which was generated using one of the fantastic tools, the Adobe Generative AI, that's available on the desktops, but we're hoping to get those onto the iPads post-Christmas. So watch out and keep an eye out for them. But we're here today to talk a wee bit about the Halloween creative challenges. So if you're using an iPad and you want to download this little web link, just flip open your camera if you can, scan that wee QR code presented on the screen, and this will be sent to you. This is actually a really good in-depth little document that's going to keep us right with everything that we're going to be able to create today. Or what you can do is open up a web browser and type this web link, this short URL. So bit.ly/Halloween on the Halloween iPad. This is your iPad session. So let's get a wee look as to what we're going to be able to create today. So let's see. Just bring this down. Oh, aren't these challenges just fabulous? So first of all, we are going to design our very own monster using a whole bunch of creative tools using the Adobe Express app, which is fantastic. We're going to be using some basic shapes, ovals, triangles, rectangles, and combining them all to create this something along the lines of this. So we need to consider that in the background while I'm talking. And if you're saying to yourself, Emma, you're going a wee bit too fast for me, I cannot catch up, don't forget that you can pause at any stage here. Please do until you find everything that you need to. And you can also rewind as well. But we're going to create our very own Halloween themed monster. I have already got myself into the feelings, adding some wee devil horns to myself, and I've worn the scariest costume that I can think of, my face. So hopefully you guys feel the same way. So let's have a wee look here at some other wee challenges that we're going to be playing with today. Once we get that completed, what we're going to do, we're going to create a spooky web page. So we're going to talk a wee bit and learn more about the history of Halloween. And again, if you haven't got the QR code or haven't got the link, please try your best to download it, because it has this little button here, which will open up into a little document like so, giving us a wee bit of pre-prepared information about Halloween so that I can show you how you can add all of this content and all of these links to your website. And again, just to bring us back to the start here, if you need that wee QR code, it's right at the top here. Now, you're probably sitting going, that's a lot of work. What do I get out of it apart from learning some really amazing tools? Well, if you complete both of those challenges in your classrooms and you send them both to Dom in the email that he sends after the session, you might be in for some swag, and some swag includes some wee stickers for everyone in the classrooms. So it might be worth your while to do that. And if you go one step further, guys, okay, what you can do, if you go and teach somebody else in the school or in your school community, other teachers, other pupils, you go home and start sharing your work and teaching other guys, send Dom an email and you might be in for some extra super VIP swag. Okay, so let's get started. Let's see what we can come up with as a creative spooky monster. So again, just to refresh, we're going to be using all of these to design a Halloween themed monster. We're going to consider sort of the head shape, the neck, the shoulders, the eyes, the nose, the mouth. Do we want some hair, wings, ears? What is it that we need? Because we have to remember that this is a scary monster, but monsters also have similar things, similar facial features to us all. So let's get thinking about this. And what I want everyone to do is to go and find for me the Adobe Express app. And this is going to open up, hopefully on the home page, like so. Perfect. And what we're going to do, we want to kind of find a poster template. Now you could go down to the bottom and just start creating. You can take one of the flyers if you want, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have a look here at the top menu. I'm going to drag it over. And you'll see here, right here, just towards the end, you have a template for posters. So let's eye that up. This is the wee interface that opens up. Now, at the minute, I don't need any text. So it's asking me to double tap to edit that, but I don't want this box on my page or on my canvas quite yet. So if I click on it now, the wee menu at the bottom appears and you see the wee delete button, the wee bin, just click on it and we can start with a fresh canvas. Perfect. So what I want to start to consider is what kind of things can I search for? Well, I'm going to probably search for something that's a wee bit alien or something that looks a wee bit far out there because it's a monster. And when I think of monsters, I think of all the different types of textures and different types of, like materials and things that animals have, for example, or skin types, or things like fur, like scales, like feathers. Think about those kind of descriptions, for example. And if I press the plus button, you're going to get this gorgeous wee menu open it up at the bottom. And I'm going to go straight to search for Adobe Stock because I don't have anything saved on my iPad. So go into Adobe Stock. Like I said, there's lots of things that we can think about here. And for the meantime, what I'm going to look for, I'm going to look for some fur, for example. So I'm going to tap up here and type in my word, hit the blue button to enter, don't forget, so that I can search that up. And you get loads, okay? I always love these wee leopard prints. And you can get some like different types of, could be a horse, could be cow, could be even I wouldn't say a giraffe, for example. Or you can get all these different types. And there's some different colors, some different patterns, some different textures. But you get creative here. You choose whatever it is that you like the look of. And do you know what? I'm going to consider this cheetah pattern down here. Looks gorgeous. So I'm going to tap on it, wait for it to load. And once that's ready with the wee tick, I'm going to hit the top button up here saying add one. Now, this is where we get to choose. Do we want to pin this to the background or do we want to be able to move this freely? And I'm going to select the option to move freely because I want to be able to start to edit this and shape it up. And once it comes onto your canvas, you can, use those nodes to make it bigger or smaller. But what I want to start to do, I want to start building this into the shape of my body, my head. So I'm going to go to this option down here under the Edit tab, Crop and Shape. And this is a fantastic tool. You can see all these amazing shapes you can start to make the head out of. And I quite like this. You can go for the circle one here, for example, just to see. You can go for square, more like a robot-y type of monster. You can even go for a triangle. But I'm drawn towards this, quite hexagonal shape. I don't know. I just quite like them. Or even the pentagram right there. Actually, let's go for that one. And remember to always hit done. So once you hit done, there it goes on your page like so. Now, what else can you do to this? Well, I might need a wee bit of a body. But if I just drag, just first of all, what I want to do is just kind of gauge roughly what kind of space I have to play with. And if I just tap and drag that on my page, you get these wee pink lines in the middle. And those are just wee tools to help you align your objects on the canvas. So this is telling me it's directly in the middle because that line goes straight through the top of that point. Let's leave it there for now. And let me go and add another texture. Let's go for something a wee bit different again. Let's go, I'm going to search for feathers this time around. let's say I want my monster to be a wee bit duotoned. And you get all these lovely, amazing textures. And what we're looking for really is something that takes up the whole space there. So you can go for something like this maybe, or you could maybe isolate some of these wee bits, for example, or the peacock feathers would be a good one as well there. Fantastic. But I eyed this one up earlier, so I'm going to click on this one. This one looks like a fun color over here. And again, just tap on it, tap on add one to bring that onto the canvas. And we're going to tick the option there to move freely. So what's good about this is hopefully everyone can see where my mouse is hovering over. I'm just going to zoom in maybe a wee bit. Here you can see there is like a wee rotational tool. And so I'm just going to rotate that 90 degrees because I want to use, I quite like all the light stuff up here, and I like that the color fades down into the bottom. So again, let's go to crop and shape. Let's figure out what kind of shape. I quite like this one as well. Let's see. Let's go for the oval or even the triangle. It's quite interesting. Just going to select some of these options and see which one I like the look of. And I think I might select the square. I quite like that square, rounded square. So again, you need to always remember to hit done on the object. Okay, and again, let's just play about with this. Let's get my nodules. Let's bring that over. Now, I'm faced with a bit of a problem here. Okay, I can see that my little head shape it just sits on top. It can be nice there, but if I wanted, for example, to kind of, make the head seem down and use that bottom bit more like a chin, for example, I could maybe then rearrange the order. So if I tap on, let me just show you what I mean. So let's bring this up a wee tiny touch. Let me click on my image. And if I go to this tab here to order, I can play about with those now, and I can use that wee slider, slide it all the way up to the top. And there I have my pentagram shape on top of my square. So I'm going to hit done. And what I'm going to do, I want to start rearranging these a wee bit more. Okay, I can probably play about with them a wee bit better. So let's click on the top one because it's very clearly going to be a cheetah. And I'm wondering, is there a way that I can start to match the colors down below? So let's have a look here. And I'm going to go straight into looks here. And these are really good fun to play with. So if you tap on them, and you can hopefully see the little icon and the two lines with the arrows on them. If you keep playing about with that, that's going to shuffle through all the different options under that sort of look that you have, the little profile look that you've selected. So here's vivid, for example, and there's different types of vivid, but this is the duotone, and this is my favorite tool. So if I tap on duotone, and this time around for this tool, you see those wee slider symbols. So I'm going to tap on this, and here it's going to give me loads of different color options. So I can tap on any of these that I like the look of. For example, I can change all the different colors. And I quite like that tail, but the pink, maybe if I wanted to change it more to like a purple or a blue to match it down here, I could maybe give it a go. So let's go in here into the slider, and there's the highlights option. And what this allows me to do, if I click on it, I can use all of these colors to play around. So maybe say, well, this blue, oh, it's quite interesting. Let's say the royal blue. Quite like the look of that one now. Or you can go for a slightly different blue, and you can play about with those as much as you need to. So if I even wanted to go darker here, what I might want to do then is go into the custom part up here, and there's my blue highlighted. And what I might want to do is just take this little crosshair, this little plus symbol, and drag it sort of maybe towards a darker tone. And you just use your finger to drag where you want it to go instead. And I quite like the look of that one. So I'm going to hit done. And even though that I'm trying to match this one, I'm still going to put it through the duotone feature. Because again, what I would want to do, I want to kind of these to match as much as possible as if it's from the same body. So let's go to our highlights here again. Let's select that deep blue color that we like the look of and darken it to try and match as much as possible. So let's go to custom just to show you that one more time. And I'm going to grab this little crosshair, grab this little tool, and this will allow me to then make it a wee bit darker. Let's go a wee bit darker still, perhaps. Lovely. So you can see those. Okay. And what you might want to do, I'm going to consider this as an option. I'm actually going to swap them around, maybe. And so let's cancel that and see if it works. So first of all I've done is just selected this wee switcher tool, and it's actually already done that for me. And this time around, let's go into the highlights, and it's showing up as pink there. So let's select it. And this time around, we wanted this to be the blue. Let's go to our dark blue, and let's go into custom again and make that a wee bit darker. Lovely. Starting to match it up a wee tiny bit. Let's bring it down a touch. Gorgeous. So you can spend all day playing with that and try to color match as possible. But let's just, a few more adjustments. There we go. Let's move on and show you how else that you can go to build this character. Well, sure, we've got our head, we've got our body. We can reposition that a wee bit more should we need to. For example, bring them up. Lovely. These are just minor adjustments based on what I'm going to do later. So I've got my head, I've got my body, but I've got no features. So let's try and add a bit of a feature here. So the first thing I'm going to start to think about are my eyes. So let's go and have a look at this tool for shapes, this brand new tool here that says it's shapes. And if you think about the kind of monsters and eye shapes, there's loads of different kinds that you can go for. So you can search for a particular kind of shape if you have one in mind, but let's just go into the basics for now and get a feel for what we like the look of. So I have some circles here, some rectangles, triangles, all different kinds. And let me see if I can find a fun shape. I quite like these geometric shapes. So I think I might have a wee look into there because my character is a wee bit different. So let's go with this shape here because he's got a pentagram. So let's go for a hexagonal eye. And then let's pop that in. So whenever you pop it in, what you can do again, you can rearrange this. You can decide what color it is, what shape, and even rotate. So if you wanted the points, for example, to be pointing down. So I think I do and get it lined up. And what I'm going to try and do is make this into a single-eyed monster. So whenever I'm looking at my eye, okay, well, when I need sort of the whites of the eye and the pupil and the color of your eye and things like that. So let's see how we can go to design this. And what I want to do is I want to actually have a zoom in and look at my monster a wee bit better. So I'm just going to pinch my fingers on my canvas, on the gray part of the canvas now, and just zoom in to here, because let's have a quick look. What I'm trying to do now is, like I said, build those layers up. And if I select my shape here, I'm going to hit duplicate and go straight into color. And I'm going to make this white. This is going to be the whites of my eyes. I'm just going to get that wee node, hit the done button. Always forget to hit the done button. And this happens all the time. So at the minute, my iPad isn't responding to my touch. So let's very quickly just close some of these lovely apps that I have got open. Let's see. This happens to you guys. Sometimes you might just need to restart your app. And the beautiful power of Adobe is that it saves all your projects automatically. So it should be here. If I tap on this one and go to edit, there is my monster that I'm starting to create. Whoo! Nearly had a wee heart attack there. But we're back on track, folks. Zooming in on the grey bit. Let's duplicate that because it didn't remember my last move. So just tap on the duplicate button down at the bottom and go straight to color. And I just want to change this to the whites. This is going to be the whites of my eyes. And always again, hit done. I'm just going to adjust that a little tiny bit at a time. And the first thing I'm noticing is that I really kind of like that it gives me a bit of an outline here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color first. I'm going to change the color of the background. So let's go and tap on it, tap on fill. And this time around, I'm going to use my wee dropper, okay? Because what I want to do is I want to get one of the darkest colors here. So based on, let's try here. Lovely. And again, if you want to make any changes or adjustments to that shade of color, and I think I do, I want to make it a tiny bit darker just so it stands out. I'm going to hit the done button as well. Lovely. And let's replace that white on top. So here is my bit of an eye. I'm going to duplicate this again. So let's go to edit and duplicate. Make it a wee bit smaller. And this time, let's go to color. And let's think about the colors of our monster. And I'm going to go for something completely different. Let's go for a pink-eyed monster. Color pink. How lovely. I really love pink and teal as a combination. And hit done on that one. So that is our irises. I'm going for pink. And let's get the middle color as well. So we just need to do the same thing again. We're just layering up to create this shape. Let's hit duplicate on that one again. Let's go to color. And this time around, I'm just going to go to a darker shade of pink and hit done on that and resize it. So this is the middle part. Lovely. Starting to look a bit fun and creepy and kind of cuboid and netty and wavy. There's all sorts of things I'm feeling. And what I want to now think about then is the little glint in the eye that you see. So if you look at my eyes here, for example, you'll always see like a wee bit of shine based on the light. So let's get that in our eye. So again, the same process, but this time around, actually, I'm going to change the shape. I'm going to go for a circle to get that glint. And again, you can too. You can use a combination of any shapes to make this. This is your monster. It's up to you. And there's that wee oval, actually. Let's go for the oval and add that one. And the first thing I want to do is just drag it down, make it smaller. Lovely. And what I would need to do then is change the color. So it's getting a bit too small now. Let's change the color to white first. And what I want to do now is pinch to zoom on my iPad so I get a nice close look. And then this gives me more opportunity then to adjust the size and the shape and even rotate it a wee bit there if you want. You can do whatever you like. As long as you're getting creative. Lovely. And if I zoom out, I'm happy with this. Let's zoom out. And my monster's starting to take shape, starting to become animated in my eyes. So let's think about the ears, perhaps, maybe some hair. Let's see. So let's go. Do you know what? I'm thinking of my horns here. So let's see if I can get some horns. And let's go this time back into Adobe Stock. And let's see if I can search for that horn. Now, this is where you might get instruments of the horn, different animal horns. And I'm going to go for something that looks a wee bit like my own. And I quite like this wee shape as the first one, but I also really like this one. I was using this one earlier to practice and it was so much fun. But I'm going to go for the first option here because it reminds me of my red devil horns. And that's what I'm going to try and recreate here. Let's bring that in. Again, select the option to move freely where you can. Beautiful. And so I'm faced with a bit of a problem. I really like my horn. It's going to be positioned very well there, but it still has this white background. What do you do? Well, down here at the bottom, if you're familiar with the Adobe, you already know we can remove the background on that. It'll analyze all of that white and get rid of it, which is amazing. And again, just going to resize, readjust, and recolor. So let's go down to looks. This is my favorite, geotone. And then let's click into the geotone. Let's go for the red option. And there we go. We have our little devil horns. Now, how do I get the exact same on the other side and flipped? So let's go to edit. Let's duplicate this. So now we've got 2. And what we now need to do, accidentally resize and I didn't want to. Again, if you make a mistake, hopefully you guys know as well, just up here at the very top, you have your wee undo button. So I might need to just, done it again. So this is what happens. You might need to zoom in first, tap, and then make those little minor adjustments, but it's the wrong way around. How do I flip it? So let's have a look here. It's not under order. Is it under adjust? And you should see an option here now to flip horizontally or to flip vertically. That's what the H and the V stand for, flip horizontally or flip vertically. And there we have another horn. Now, I was resizing them to try to make them the same size, but again, you can go a wee bit out there. They don't have to be the same size. You can be 2 different sizes on your horns. It's completely up to you how you decide to do this. But starting to love it. I'm going to readjust some wee things here, like so. Perfect. And now what I need to do is grab everything that is my eye. And so how do you do this? So what you want to start to do now is think about your grouping. So I have made my eye shape, but I want everything to stay as it is and be able to restyle that and reshape that all at once. So I'm going to go to my edit option here. And this is a fun one. And this option down here, select multiple, will be your friend. So just going to hit done on that one and zoom in first. Remember that. And then let's select any of these here and follow that again. Let's go to edit and then select multiple. So now if I go to select other elements on my canvas, you'll see that that wee line encompasses them all. And I've accidentally got my horn. There we go. That is the border now. And if I just hit next on here, that then means that should be all grouped as one, and I can resize and move this all as one. So hopefully that is a new top tip that you've learned today. And here we go. There is my monster. And I forgot to group, so I'll show you one more time, which is great. And this happens all the time. You always forget to do one wee step. So let's do it again. How do you select them and group them? Forgot to hit the group one, but select one element on your page, select multiple. Let's go to click all through those little shapes. Perfect. And hitting next should bring you back here. And this is the button that I didn't hit, which was group. So now that you've grouped it, now you can see it is all as one now. And you can change them at will. So let's hit done on that. Fantastic. So it means I can do it. I can change it here. Gorgeous. That is exactly what I wanted. So I'm just moving things down. And what I want to consider now is getting some other wee elements of my face. So let's think about a mouth. And I'm going to show you a fun wee trick here. I'm going to use an animal's mouth, for example. So you can think of different kind of animals that have fun kind of mouths. And so I'm going to go to add. And let's go to Adobe Stock. And I really like giraffes. Hopefully that's spelled correctly. And because I think giraffes, I've seen this photo a couple of times before now. Giraffes are always really fun pulling faces. So I'm going to take this wee giraffe here, click on it and add it to my canvas and hit move freely. So what I want to try and do is I want to isolate one of the giraffe's mouths. This one that's making a silly face. So I'm going to show you a few wee tricks to it. So again, let's go to crop and shape. And I'm just going to get this circle option here and reduce the size. And just play about with it until I have maybe even the nose in there a wee tiny bit. I need to make it a bit smaller. Just do your range. Lovely. Now, I'm going to hit done on that first. And when I bring it up here, there's a few wee bits and pieces about it that is still making me think that it's for the other, it's part of another photograph. So how do I merge this onto my monster? Well, the first things first, I'm going to hit remove background. That's going to get rid of all of the white, okay, which is perfect. Okay, the next thing here you have an option is to edit the cutout. So let's click on that one. And you get this option here to erase. So if I get my button here and I increase my, increase my size, I'm going to just go around the shape as well a little bit. And hopefully now you can see, I just take a wee touch time. And don't forget, you can always zoom in to get those little bits. This is one of my favorite tools. Lovely. And I've just cut out the tongue a wee tiny touch. So I'm going to go back in very quickly just to add that back in. And that is me done. Lovely. You can probably spend more time and just clean up the edges there. But let's get this onto my monster. So there he is with his tongue sticking out. And let's recolorize him here a wee bit as well. Let's go to looks. We can darken that. Grayscale. Let's go to your duotone and see if there's any fun ones that stick out. And that red one actually just matches the horns quite well. Or you can go pink to try and copy the style from earlier. But I quite like the red one. He's looking very scary. Okay. And hit done. So use this time now to start adding more things to it. So you might want to add some ears. You might add some clothes. So and one wee idea, for example, is, let's see. Let's add some hair. I'm going to give him some hair. So here we go. Let's have a look. And here's a photo I used earlier. So I'm going to tap on it. This was a fun one. And I'm going to use those skills that have just been taught to apply it to my little monster. Fabulous. Make it nice and big. And I'm going to actually remove the background now. I'm going to do this a wee bit quicker and edit the cutout to erase just this bit here. Don't need his eyes, but we want that nice tuft of hair, for example. Lovely. And what I want this, it's almost like Justin Bieber. So again, we now need to play around a wee bit with because I still want that eye to come out. I want to play around with the order, okay? So if you remember where the order is, just over here under this wee heading, we're going to use the slider. I want the horns to pop out, which is good. And there is my eye. Lovely. Make it a wee bit bigger. And I'm going to color it as well. So let's tap on the hair. Let's go to color in the looks. Lovely duotone. See, it's quite whitey green hair. Oh, go for pink. Very cool. Maybe play with the colors here. Quite like that. Let's go for this darker look. Let's see the highlights. And just play around with these until you get a look that you like. I quite like the highlights being quite dark. See if we can just keep it black. There we go. We've got hair that matches the eyes. Or you can go for something quite green. Quite like that lime green as well. See, this is where I get lost. I like to play around with all of my colors. Let's see. There's some nice greens. Oh, quite like that crazy green here. And let's just play a wee bit here with the highlights. Lovely. I think that is smashing it. Okay. And you can add some ears, for example, or some arms and some clothes. Let's think here. What else, what could I do? I'm going to add some wee clothes here. So let's press the plus. I'm going to go to shapes. And let me see. Let's go and grab that shape again and play around with it a bit more. So this is the shape that I had used for the body. So let me see if I can do what's in my head and bring it out. So here is the shape, like so. And then if you bring it down, yep, perfect. Actually, bring it in a wee bit more like that. And let's play around with the order. Lovely. Because remember, your chin kind of comes over your clothes. And what we could do then is just change the color. Don't want it too similar. Let's go for a purple. Lovely. And let's just duplicate that over here. Gorgeous. It's almost as if he's wearing like a purple jacket. And you know what I'll do? I'll actually go into design assets here and see if there is a wee Halloween decoration that I could use as like a wee button or a wee pin. And there's some really nice ones here as well. So some wee ghosties, like this one with the little bow on it. Some of the scary ones. I was hoping for a pumpkin, but I'm really happy with some of these options here. So let me select a couple of them. Let's go for this one, this one. And because I like the pins so much, let's add all three of them. Lovely. So we're just going to drag these and it's just going to be as if it's part of the jacket. Lovely. Just zooming in there. Perfect. There's get me other ones, bring them down because they're white and canvas is white, they're going to fade into the background. Very cool. Very good. And the last wee one. Gorgeous. So here is my spooky monster. Eyes, nose, mouth, horns, and everything there. So what we want to do now is we kind of want to do something with this background, okay? So let's have a wee look. I'm going to go in to add a scary background, something spooky. Let's see. Spooky. Ooh, and there's loads of lovely Halloween-esque options. There's like a wee graveyard, there's my green that I've been using. But let's get something completely different. I quite like this orange option here. And let's see the search. There's a rainbow sort of spooky forest over here. Some lovely, amazing options. So let's go with one I quite like the look of, this orange one. I click it, add it to my background. And actually, let's just pin it to the background now. And it means then that I can move this shape. Kind of want the moon in there. Gorgeous. Again, don't forget, you can always go in and edit that to make sure. Don't want a geotone. Don't want it too dark either. There we go. Lovely. So nice and spooky for us. We've got our lovely ghoulish monster. Let's add a wee bit of text just to showcase a wee bit about what we've done. So let's click with the plus here and go to text. And I want to say Halloween is, and you're going to include an adjective here as to what you think this is. Like number one, what is my little monster describing? Number two, what do you kind of fancy Halloween? What's the adjective that you go to? So going to have a look here, and what I want to do is I'm going to go straight to recommendations. I always like to have a look and see what Adobe tell me I can create. And I see this second one looks a wee bit spooky, so I'm going to click in on it, and it is fabulous. Let's just go to the text and change the color on it so I can make it stand out a wee bit better. Gorgeous. Let's hit done. And let's go to effects because I want to add a wee bit of a shadow there, like so, because it's still not kind of coming out for me as best as I want it. And I like the color, I like the direction. Let's just include the distance a wee bit more. Lovely. Here we go. And what is your adjective? So I'm going to go add again. Let's add this as a different type of text. I'm going to go Halloween is ghoulish. This is Glenn the Ghoul. This is what I'm going for. Now it has copied and pasted that. If you want to keep it as is, you can, or you can go in and adjust the font. Make it a wee bit different if you'd like. Here we go, quite like this one. And I'm going to make it nice and big. And just go in and adjust that accordingly. So I might need to make my horn a wee bit smaller to fit that in. Like so. Halloween is ghoulish. You can have Halloween is spooky, Halloween is scary. And here we are basically finished our really fun and colorful Halloween monster poster. So the last few wee elements before we move on and start creating our website is what can you do with it? How do you save it? So the last wee elements that I'm going to suggest, for example, is if you want, you can animate the text a little bit. So if you go and animate the text like so, and play about with those. Quite like the color shuffle options for all of this. It's like a spooky kind of one. Ooh, I like that one. That one's pretty cool. And that changes everything, which is great. Whereas some of these just affect the text or just affect the background. Quite like that one. Some wee small nod to animations you can. And I'm going to actually select this color shuffle one. It looks quite spooky. And hit done. And all I'm going to do is over here at the very top, you should see the wee arrow with the box pointing down. You can click on it. You can export it as a video or as a still image and hit the download button. And again, don't forget to share these and send them off to Dom once you're done. So I hope you enjoyed the first challenge. If you are with me and you would like to continue to get creative for our second challenge and create a Spark Adobe page, I've just popped up the wee link below. So bit.ly/FAQ Adobe NI, and you'll be able to see a wee link there just to download some of our legacy apps, to download the Spark video on the Spark page, because they're no longer appearing on the App Store at this moment in time. But do keep an eye out for over the Christmas period. We're hoping to really update all of these as soon as we can. So as you can see, if you are downloading a video, it might take you a wee bit of time. So I'm just going to cancel this and move on. But just to let you know, you might need to wait there. So don't forget, you can pause me at any stage. So hit that pause button if you're still waiting for your project to download. But don't forget as well, we can always go in and change this. Let's go to image and hit download. And it does happen a lot quicker for you. Okay. So perfect. Let's get Halloween creative. And again, just to kind of remember or just point out, let's clarify. We want to get our creative page up because at the very bottom, what we do have is a history of Halloween information button. Okay. And this will take you to the very amazing Dom has put this together. Has put this wee page together. So it'll take you to all this wee link and everything and included as well. So now that I've talked about that, let's go in and create a Spark page. So this is your Spark page app. Click on it there. And this will open up into your inspiration page. Just press the big plus in the bottom. And you're going to get these prompts a few times throughout it. So if this is the case, you might just want to just hit the OK, got it option. Perfect. So here you can get a wee bit creative. You can just add any title if you'd like, or you can create your own. I love a good bit of alliteration. So for example, you could just go very simply, Happy Halloween. And then in my subtitle, you can either add your name, or what I'm going to go is the history of Halloween. Lovely. So what I want to do here, I want to start getting creative. I want to start playing with colors and getting all those spooky elements in. So press the plus just down here and go to photograph. This will take you to these wee options on the right hand side. Let's go to find free images, okay? Because we haven't planned too much for this apart from everything's in Adobe. Everything we try to show you, Adobe should have an answer for. So let's go and have a wee look at Halloween. And you get some lovely spooky images. I really love this one with the cat. So I'm going to click on it. Now, what I like about Adobe is that I'm not restricted to keeping my text in the middle of my page. So I'm just going to tap and drag it over to the side here. There we go. Because then that means the cat is lovely and in picture. And I'm going to go and wave my magic wand and going to tap on the magic wand at the very top here. And I'm going to change. Let's have a look. What do you like the look of? Let's go to nightcap. It's quite Halloween-esque. Or you can go to Storybook. This is quite cool. Quite like let's go for that one. Because I want to make sure again that my cat is still in the picture. So let's scroll. Let's scroll to start writing our story. And here we're going to be able to add a splits layout. I'm going to go straight to split layout. So if you need to get that menu up, don't forget you can always tap on the button. I'm going to click on the split layout button because I want to start introducing you guys a wee bit to the history of Halloween. Now, if you remember our plan document, let's go quickly into it. And this is the history of Halloween. So what I want to do is I'm double tapping on a word. I'm going to use these wee blue nodes. This has all been done for me. And I'm just going to copy that text where possible and paste it in. Let's see. Lovely. And I've just tapped and hold on this wee document to hit copy. Let's put all of the hard work into our creativity and not into our thinking. But we're going to read this. We have read this. Okay. So if I want to get that text into my page, let's click the plus and click text. This will bring up your wee blinking. There is a name for that. I really need to learn what that name is. But basically, this is the iPad telling you to start typing up your text. And if I tap on that wee blue line, gives me this menu, and let's hit the paste button on that. So let's get decorating this. Let's add more to this. And I'm going to add, first of all, a title. So I've just chosen my plus at the very top. I'm going to go to plus and hit the A. And I'm going to write here the history of Halloween. So basically a wee bit of a repeat. And because we're using iPads, if you want to get a wee bit creative, let's type in Halloween. Let's add a wee pumpkin, for example. And let's go do it again. Accidentally just hit the... Let's go to Halloween again. Lovely. Now, the thing is about this title, I want to make it more decorative. So how do I do that? Let's select it. So once you select anything in your web page tool, at the very top, you should see the options here for header 1 or header 2. It's essentially like your header, subheader kind of format. And because of the theme that I've selected, if I go really big like this, it makes my pumpkins quite big, or I can go to subheader 2, completely up to you. I'm going to go for subheader 2 for now. And actually, let's delete one of these wee yolks here. Let's see if I can even change him to head 1 to make it nice and big. That looks quite fun, actually. And let's see. Sometimes you do need to play about here to see which of the formatting options look nicest to you. So I quite like that. Let's try that again, actually, at the top. Get a wee pumpkin going. There we go. And if you want to make that quite big in your display, just hit the H1 option. And I've just aligned that in the middle. Always use your wee alignment tools where possible. So, did you know that Halloween most likely originated from a Celtic festival native, okay, to Ireland and Scotland? Okay, so let's format this a wee tiny bit. This is what I like to do personally. I like to take big chunks of paragraphs, and when I read those paragraphs, I'm just going to highlight key words in it. So, for example, if I take this word here, double click the word Celtic, I'm going to just copy those and I'm just going to hit the bold option at the very top. I like to do this because when I'm scanning things and scanning documents, I just want the key information. So what I'm going to see is Celtic Festival native to Ireland and Scotland. So you might Halloween, do the same there. Halloween, Celtic Festival native to Ireland and Scotland. This festival is called Samhain. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And earliest mentions here is 19th century Irish literature. So let's go to earliest memory mentions, bold. Oh, just getting confused with the wee lines there. This is where you might need to move your iPad. Perfect. So there's 3 wee dots at the top of my iPad screen. That's just getting a wee bit confused there. And then again, you can see now, double tap, drag those out. Sometimes it takes a wee while. Choose the B. Might need to do that thing again. It's getting confused. Okay. So that is one way that you can sort of start to format your text and make it nice and big. Okay. So what we want to do now is, again, make this more engaging where possible. So in between the pluses, you do have options to add more photographs. So for example, let's see here, even if I want to go to and type in shaman or showing, sorry. Does tell me there, sewing. Here we get some wee elements. Again, it's all about sort of harvesting and things going from sort of a nice summer height of sunlight into sort of a wee bit of a darkness. So let's get those wee elements in. Let's bring this candle to symbolize that, the fruits of our labor. And there you go. It's talking about let's go in here and get more Halloween. And take your time with this. Let's see. Lovely. And again, you can continue to build on that and add captions and add more creativity. For now, let's just go over here and quickly add our image. Let's add something else that's more Halloween-esque. I like these pumpkins. Perfect. And they'll fit really nice in there. So again, if they don't fit nice, okay, if you're getting things cut off and you want to include more elements of your image, you can always tap on your image and the wee menu will pop up. You've got this wee focal point option here. So this is somewhere where you can kind of go up, you can go down, you can go left and right on an image there. So even if I make a wee bit of an adjustment there, it won't make much of a difference here because the photo I selected, but hopefully that makes you understand what you can do. So, for example, now that we've got this, you could go ahead and start doing all of that, but I'll not make you dizzy with my iPads going back and forth because of these wee 3 dots at the top. But you could keep adding some more wee images. But another thing you can always create is, well, let's learn more. Let's add a video, for example. And if you remember in our document, let's go quickly to Safari. So here is the history of Halloween. You can include that. So other wee bits down here is the history of Halloween video. And if I click on it once, you should see a wee copy link option here, which is brilliant. And I'm just going to go up and I'm going to get this to fit back in my page. So let's go where is appropriate. So here is sort of more about the history of it. And if I'm looking at this now going, right, well, I don't want my audience to be too busy, to feel that my page is too busy. So if I wanted to get rid of any element, which is also a good thing because it's okay. It's okay to make changes and choices. So you can tap on the image, hit delete, and this time around, I'm going to go to the plus, go into the video tool here, and this is where I'm going to be able to paste that link. So if I tap on it there, hit the paste and hit done, a wee video introducing a little bit about Halloween is there. Okay, it's from the lovely Twinkle. So here is the history of Halloween. Let's have a wee look. There's more options here. And so what I'm looking at down here is I want to actually separate this content now. So managed to copy it from one document. Let's just double tap on the words and drag it all out. Takes it. Sometimes it could be tricky. Here we go. And sometimes you just need a wee bit of patience. So I'm going to cut this here and I'm going to keep that as is for now. I'm going to use my plus and I'm going to use a glide show because we're going to talk a wee bit about pumpkins. And there's a very smiley little pumpkinette there. And let's have a look here. I'm just tapping on some of the pumpkins that I like the look of. And I'm actually going to get rid of a couple. So wee pet, I'm going to get rid of you because I don't want to overcompensate my data and information. Let's go. I'm going to choose the one. Lovely. And I'm just going to double check what other wee bits and pieces of information. So the history of trick-or-treating is another link that we're going to include in our document. So let's actually get that back in. So trick or treat. Beautiful. I want some people in costumes. And look at all the pumpkins here. Magnificent. This is a gorgeous one of a lovely princess. Or there's a wee witch there. Oh, this is the scariest little skeleton that you ever did see. Lovely. So I've got my pumpkin. I've got my glide show. Just going to hit done. And what I love about the glide show is that you can glide from one element to another element. And so let's get that wee bit of information in that pumpkin. So tap on the plus. For example, tap the plus, tap the text tool, tap on the wee line and hit paste. Okay, so Jack-o'-lantern. Let's give this a wee title. And call it the history behind Jack. Just going to call that. And let's go give it a nice big twist. Gorgeous. And again here, you can double tap. You can do that wee effect. Or what you can do, double tap, use the nodes there. And if the bold isn't working for you, you can always use the italics, which also highlights, or you can do both. Lovely. Let's do that a wee bit again. And again, it's always good to kind of consider what your audience is going to, how long they're going to spend in your project. Lovely. Jack-o'-lantern, Irish Christian folktale. So it symbolized somebody who was denied entry into heaven and hell, which is a bit eerie. And what you can do, you can split these paragraphs. Let's just hit that button there. And I always think about considering how do people digest information. If you have big chunks of text, people aren't going to want to read all of that. So do consider that whenever you're designing your website. And we are designing our website here. So let's go again and show you how to copy from this link from how to carve a pumpkin video. Again, on this little document, you just tap it once, hit the copy option. Fabulous. Let's go into our website again and go to plus. And hopefully now you've got the rhythm going and you can paste that there. Lovely. So there is our another little section. Now what you can do as well is don't forget, you can always tap and drag this to wherever you want it to go. So if you want it in the middle, to the left, to the right, it's completely up to you. So the history behind Jack, let's have a look and see where our website's looking. Gorgeous. And the last wee thing is all about trick or treating. So before we get that though, let's look at our little elements. Okay, so whenever we're using our glide show, I like that my pumpkin's there. Then it gets blocked a bit. That's okay. But when I'm going into here, I'm missing our lovely lady's mask. So let's adjust that slightly. And again, tapping on an image will bring up this option for a focal point. So let's drag it up a wee tiny touch. We want to still get the candy or the sweeties in there. And then we still get the idea that this is trick-or-treating. So just note some design options and choices there for you today. So the last thing is talking about trick-or-treating. So what do you guys enjoy about trick-or-treating? Okay. So again, let's put a title, The History, or The History Behind Trick or Treating. Lovely. And again, don't forget we can start to format it, for example, here, and then align things into the middle, to the left, to the right, completely up to you. You can even go for a wee quote option. But I'm going to keep this all uniformed. So I want all my titles to have the same look and all my body of text to kind of have the same look there as well. Gorgeous. So let's see if there's lovely. So the history behind trick-or-treating, if we go to our videos, the last one just to include, and this time around, I'm going to show you how to do this as a button. Okay, so we've had 2 videos. Let me show you how to do a button. So again, let's tap on our link, and it's a National Geographic link. I'm just going to hit the copy button here. And going into, let's double tap our home button. Let's get clever using our iPad. Let's click here, and this time around, I'm going to plus button. And down here at the bottom, you have where it says http://example.com. This is where we paste our link into. So, how did trick or treating become a Halloween tradition? That's the question we're asking. And hit done. So again, you get the alignment options. Love using these. I love things being in the middle, especially on a website. The history behind trick-or-treating. Fabulous. And if you want, okay, if all you lovely boys and girls are sitting there and you're dressed up like me, you've got a wee bit of a costume going on, I would love to see your Halloween costumes added. So I'm just going to very quickly and finally show you a nice wee trick, especially because you guys are using the iPads. You have access to this tool, which the desktoppers don't always. And what I want to do is just quickly find my camera. Let's see. And what I'm going to do is just switch it. So you can see the wee switching option here. And here is my lovely scary skeleton with my bats. I want to get that in show with my devil horns. And there we go. There's our image. And let's add that to our web page. Fabulous. So let's just go to plus. Same way you would add a photograph. But this time around, let's go back. It's on your iPad. Let's go to recents. Here we go. And in the caption today, I dressed up as the devil. And you can even use a wee emoji there if you are allowed. Okay, you can probably crop that, add more wee details to that. You could even, use the markup tool on the iPads to get creative, or you can go one better. You can even bring it into the Adobe graphics tool, remove your background, add a spooky background if you have the time, and then reapply that like so. So let's see how our website is shaping up here. So if I go to the play button up at the very top, let's just see what it's looking like. So there is our happy Halloween. And if I scroll down, I've got my wee pumpkins here with the history of Halloween. Gorgeous. I've got my Halloween video, which I can then press play on, and it'll open up on my screen like so. Lovely. I'm just going to hit the X over here and then the X over here. So on the right hand side, sorry, on the left and then the right, And then you can see how it's starting to shape up with all my images being added. And there's my little pumpkin, the history behind the jack-o'-lantern, gorgeous. And then the history behind trick-or-treating. Let's just test our button. So if you've been trying to hit that button when you're not in the preview mode, it will not have worked. We're in the edit mode. So it's only allowing you to open it up here. And there's our cookies. So you can have a wee look at all of the history behind Halloween and the origin and learn some fun new facts about Halloween today. And folks, I'm looking at my website and I think that is me basically done. You can continue to add more in there if you want to learn or teach anyone about your traditions, or if there's any songs you like to sing whenever you're trick or treating. No, there was one about trick or treat, smell my feet. Not too sure if I wanted to, but the one that I always remember is Halloween is coming and the goose is getting fat. Don't know if anyone out there remembers that song, but maybe you guys can create your own one. And if you're using the Adobe suite of tools, you can maybe use the Spark video page to record your own video and add it as a button onto your website. So I hope you've had a spooky session with me today. I have had such an enjoyable time. Let me just show you finally and quickly how you can share your work with other people and for Dom to get that swag. So up at the very top, once you're finished, okay, so this is now us in edit mode, like so. And again, spend loads of time here. If you want, if you designed a pumpkin, pop it on under here. Show us what your latest creations are, even as a class or as an individual. It's completely up to you. And again, show us what you're dressed up as for Halloween. So up at the very top, let's share this out. So let's click here. And what I want to do then is, let me see, just double check and credits, done. It's always good just to double check all of these wee bits and pieces. Create your public link. That will then, you'll have that as a website link. And then you can share that with Dom and the rest of the Adobe community. And don't forget to get some extra swag. Okay. If you want to share that then with other people, don't be afraid to do so and get a wee bit creative with them this spooky season. Okay. I have had a wonderful time getting creative, getting ghoulish, getting all sorts of creative using the Adobe suite of tools. And I hope you have as well. Have a happy Halloween, folks, and take care of yourselves. Bye.